Ladies and gentlemen, there is a truth that will shake you awake if you dare to hear it. Riches begin in the mind long before they appear in your hands. We are not gathered here to talk about luck, nor will I waste your time with idle fantasies of overnight success. We are here to discuss laws. Laws as real, as unshakable, as certain as gravity. There exists a blueprint for wealth, not just monetary wealth, but the richness of purpose, the richness of peace, and the richness of power over your own destiny. And that blueprint begins with a single thought, charged with belief, driven by desire, and acted upon with unrelenting persistence. You are not here by accident. You are here because something within you is stirring, a hunger to rise, to master the forces that shape your future. And today you will hear the formula, 5 principles, 1 path. Your journey starts now. All achievement begins with desire. Not wishful thinking, not vague hope. Desire, clear, definite, burning like a fire that will not be extinguished. It is the beginning of all greatness, the seed from which empires grow, the spark that lights the furnace of the soul and drives it to move mountains. You may say you want success. You may say you want wealth, purpose, influence, but until that desire consumes you, until it becomes the heartbeat of your ambition, you have not yet begun the journey. Desire is not born in comfort. It is forged in dissatisfaction. It arises when the soul rebels against limitation, when it refuses to live one more day beneath its potential. It is the man who is tired of being broke, the woman who is tired of being unseen, the dreamer who is tired of being told to wait, to settle, to shrink. When you reach the point where you cannot stay where you are, desire is born. And once it is born, it must be fed every day, with focus, with belief, with action. A man with a burning desire will walk through fire. He will work when others sleep. He will study when others are distracted. He will keep going when others quit. Why? Because he sees something others cannot see. He sees the vision, the picture of what will be, and that vision drives him forward like a force of nature. Look around you, every bridge, every invention, every fortune, every success. They all began in the invisible realm of desire. There was a time when the airplane was nothing more than an impossible thought, a time when light lived only in the minds of those bold enough to challenge the dark, a time when fortunes were built not on money but on ideas backed by relentless desire, and in every case, the story is the same. Someone wanted it more. Someone refused to accept life as it was. Someone decided, this will be. The universe responds to the mind that knows what it wants, but it does not respond to a lukewarm heart. You cannot half want success and expect to rise. You cannot whisper your dreams and expect the world to hear. You must shout them through your work, through your discipline, through your refusal to give up. I have seen men fail with talent, and I have seen men win with none. The difference? Desire. The desire to rise, the desire to learn, the desire to pay the price of greatness, no matter what it costs. A man may lack resources, but if he possesses burning desire, he will find a way. He will knock on 100 doors. He will try 1,000 paths. He will build his future with broken pieces if he must, but he will build it. Let there be no misunderstanding. You will be tested. You will face delay. You will be discouraged. You will be laughed at, doubted, misunderstood. But none of it matters. None of it has the power to stop you if your desire burns hotter than your fear. Obstacles are not roadblocks. They are the proving ground. They ask only one question: do you want it enough? And if your answer is yes, if your desire is backed by decision, if your decision is backed by persistence, you will overcome. You must see your desire as already real. Speak of it not as maybe, but as must be. Write it down. Read it every morning and every night. Feel it in your bones. Let it become the rhythm of your life. Because what you dwell upon, you move toward. What you focus on expands, and what you desire with all your heart when backed by faith and action becomes inevitable. Do not fear wanting more. The desire for more is the call of your potential. The longing for greatness is not pride, it is purpose. You were not born to crawl in the shadows. You were born to rise, to build, to conquer, to shine. Do not suppress your dream. Feed it, protect it, water it with belief, nourish it with action, and most of all, refuse to give up on it. The man who holds on to desire when others quit, he is the man who wins. This is the truth. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in miles, it is measured in desire. You don't need luck. You don't need permission. You need a fire that will not go out. And once that fire is lit, everything changes. Doors open, resources appear, strength rises, the impossible becomes inevitable. So I ask you now, what do you want? Not what sounds good, not what would be nice. What do you want with every breath in your body? Find it, declare it, obsess over it, and then go after it like your life depends on it. Because it does. Let this be the hour your desire comes alive. Let this be the day you stop doubting and start deciding. The moment you no longer hope, but know. And when that knowing takes root, when that fire ignites, not a force on earth will be able to stop you. Faith is the foundation of all achievement. Not the faith of chance or blind hope, but the unshakable belief in your ability to create, to overcome, to rise, and to win. Without faith, desire is just a wish. Without faith, action is weak and persistence is fleeting. But with faith, true faith, you become unstoppable. Faith is not something you wait for, it is something you build. It is constructed thought by thought, word by word, decision by decision, until it becomes a force within you that cannot be moved. It is not born in silence. It is spoken into existence. Every great man who has ever risen from obscurity to greatness has carried within him a faith so strong, so vivid, so certain, that the world had no choice but to make way. You must believe in your goal. Yes, but more than that. You must believe in yourself as the one who will reach it. You must see yourself already in possession of the thing you desire. You must live, breathe, and speak as if it is already yours, not someday but now. Because the mind cannot distinguish between reality and what it accepts as truth. And what the mind accepts as truth, the body will pursue and the world will reflect. Faith is vision with clarity. It is thought charged with emotion. It is desire wrapped in certainty. When you speak the words, I will, and you believe them, truly believe them, you begin to reshape your destiny. But understand this, faith is forged through struggle. It is not given. It is earned in the fire of resistance. You will be tested. Life will push you. Doubts will whisper. Fear will knock. And in those moments, you must choose belief over doubt. Over and over, you must anchor yourself to the vision, even when the evidence around you says otherwise. You must speak words of power, even when your circumstances feel powerless. You must act in confidence, even when you walk alone. Do not wait for proof to believe. Believe first, and the proof will follow. That is the law. That is the order. The one who waits for conditions to be perfect never begins. But the one who believes and acts forces the conditions to bend to his will. Look back on the stories of every great achievement. The pattern never changes. There was struggle, there was delay, there was darkness, but through it all there was belief. That belief carried them through the storm. That belief silenced the critics. That belief fueled the work. And in time, that belief became reality, because the outer world is nothing more than a mirror of the inner one. And the man who believes in himself without condition bends the mirror to reflect his truth. I have seen men with every advantage fail because they did not believe. I have seen men with nothing rise to unimaginable heights because they believed before anyone else did. Faith is not a matter of circumstance. It is a matter of choice. It is a muscle. It must be trained. It must be fed. Feed it with affirmations. Speak power into your day. Declare who you are becoming, not just what you want, but who you already are at your core. Say it until your voice shakes the timidity from your soul. Say it until you believe it. Say it until you become it. Feed it with action. Small steps, bold steps, imperfect steps, but action. Because faith without movement is fantasy, but faith with action, that is power. That is momentum. That is transformation. And yes, feed it with persistence. Because the day will come when it feels easier to stop, when the result hasn't come, when the doors remain shut. But the one who holds the image in his mind, the image of the life he has claimed, and who refuses to let go, he wins. Every time. Let your mind become your sanctuary. Guard it, train it, speak to it like a general speaks to an army. There can be no weakness in your self-talk, no indecision in your self-entry. Speak with certainty. Walk with intention. Think with power, because the world does not give success to those who need it. It gives it to those who claim it by faith, by effort, by persistence, and by will. You are not here to beg for your future. You are here to build it, brick by brick, word by word, thought by thought. Let faith be your mortar. Let belief be your steel. Let every action you take be an affirmation that says, I am the one. I will not quit. I will not doubt. I will rise. This is the beginning of your ascent. Not when the goal appears, but when the belief appears. Not when the world applauds you, but when you first applaud yourself. When you look in the mirror and see not just who you are, but who you are becoming, and know without question that it is already done. So believe when it's easy, believe when it's hard, believe when no one else does, and one day the world will look at your life and call it miraculous. But you will know it was not a miracle. It was faith applied with relentless purpose. Believe and act. Believe and persist. Believe and become, because that is how you think, and that is how you grow rich. There is a disease that infects the dreams of men. It kills silently long before the body dies. It numbs the will, clouds the judgment, and makes even the strongest among us stumble. That disease is indecision, the absence of a clear, burning, unwavering purpose. And if you are to rise to your greatness, it must be rooted out. You must know what you want, not vaguely, not generally, not some. You must know with precision. You must know with conviction. You must be so definite in your aim that every cell in your body moves in alignment with it, because the world respects the man who knows where he is going. The universe bends to the one who walks with purpose. Most people drift. They want this today, something else tomorrow. They chase trends. They chase comfort. They chase the illusion of safety. And so they never arrive because they never began with direction. They wake up tired, not from work, but from wandering. And a wandering mind never creates. A wandering life never builds. A wandering soul never wins. Definitiveness of purpose is the master key. It is the compass by which every decision is made. It is the foundation upon which belief is built, persistence is fueled, and success is constructed. Without it, you are like a ship without a rudder, tossed by the waves, steered by the winds of other people's opinions, fated to crash or drift endlessly in circles. But with it, everything changes. You rise each day with direction. You meet challenges with clarity. You make decisions quickly and change them slowly. You move forward, always forward, even when the terrain is rough. You are not confused because your goal has become your North Star. Ask yourself right now, what do I want? What is the one goal so compelling, so powerful, so meaningful that I would give my time, my energy, my very life to it? You must choose. You must decide. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The moment you decide, you begin to tap into the greatest power you possess, the ability to direct your life with intention. you will find that the moment you become definite, life responds. Opportunities that once hid from you begin to appear. People who once ignored you begin to take notice. Your own mind, once scattered and timid, sharpens like a blade. Focus becomes natural. Discipline becomes instinct. Why? Because the mind, when given a clear target, becomes a magnet, and what it seeks with conviction it will find. But know this. Clarity is not comfortable, it demands sacrifice. When you become definite in your purpose, you must say no to distractions. You must let go of lesser goals. You must be willing to disappoint those who do not share your vision. You must be willing to walk alone, if that's what your purpose requires. But the reward is immeasurable. Power, direction, certainty, and progress. I have seen men with half the talent rise far above those with natural gift. Why? Because they made a decision and never wavered. They knew what they wanted, and every action, every thought, every moment was harnessed toward that end. There is no substitute for this. You can have all the knowledge, all the ambition, all the passion in the world, but if you lack definiteness, your power is scattered. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. You cannot arrive at a destination you never set. Write your goal. Write it boldly. Read it daily. Speak it aloud until your voice trembles with conviction. Make it your creed, your code, your obsession. Let it dominate your mind until it becomes a reality so vivid that nothing can distract you from it. Let no one shake it. Let no setback weaken it. Let no delay discourage it. There will be voices of doubt, of fear, of so-called reason. They will say, be realistic, play it safe, don't dream so big. But your purpose is not subject to their opinions. Your future belongs to you. It does not need approval. It needs decision. When you decide who you are and what you will do, the world begins to organize itself around that vision. Yes, there will be trials. Yes, there will be tests. But with definiteness of purpose, you do not stop. You adjust, you refine, you persist, because your mind is fixed. And a fixed mind is a force of nature. So I challenge you now, not to merely wish, but to decide, to declare with boldness, this is what I will achieve. This is who I will become. Not maybe, not if, not when it's easy, but absolutely without doubt, without hesitation, without excuse. Because the day you decide, truly decide, is the day your life changes. It is the day confusion dies and purpose is born. It is the day you begin to live, not by chance, but by choice. So choose. Choose your path. Choose your goal. Choose your life. And then give yourself to it completely. That is how power is built. That is how legacies are written. That is how you will think. And that is how you will grow rich. There comes a time in the pursuit of every great goal when the thrill of the beginning fades and the weight of the journey presses in. It is there, when the applause is silent, when the rewards are distant, and when the results are not yet visible, that greatness is born or buried. The difference is persistence. Persistence is not a trait of the gifted. It is the weapon of the committed. It is not reserved for the lucky. It is forged by the determined. It does not belong to the few. It is available to all, but claimed by the few who decide that quitting is no longer an option. You must understand this: the journey to riches, whether of the mind, the spirit, or the wallet, is never a straight path. It is filled with detours, with setbacks, with delays that tempt you to doubt, to hesitate, to stop. The man who stops will tell himself it was logic. He will say it was timing. He will say he gave it his best. But in truth, he surrendered his vision too soon. He let temporary resistance rob him of permanent reward. Persistence is what separates dreamers from doers. Everyone has desire. Everyone has moments of inspiration, but few have the iron will to keep going long after the spark of excitement has dimmed. Few have the resolve to rise again after defeat. Few will knock on the door of success until their knuckles bleed, but those few always get in. You do not need to be the smartest, you do not need to be the fastest, but you must never stop. You must continue when others pause. You must press on when others pause. You must fight on when every voice around you says, enough. Because the moment you persist beyond what is easy, beyond what is convenient, you step into rare air, the place where few go and where the extraordinary is found. Think of the seed buried in soil. It does not bloom in a day. It must break through the dirt. It must push against the weight of the earth. It must reach for light it cannot yet see. And so must you. Your dream is buried in the soil of resistance. It is not dead. It is waiting for your persistence to pull it into the light. There will be days when progress seems invisible. There will be times when the silence screams louder than applause. But remember, progress is often disguised as struggle. Growth hides behind difficulty. Victory is camouflaged in defeat. And the one who keeps going, who keeps believing, keeps working, keeps pushing, eventually walks into a breakthrough so powerful it justifies every second of the fight. I have seen men beaten by life, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked endurance. They gave up one step too soon. And I have seen men rise from the lowest places because they refused to stop. Their belief was not always strong, their path was not always clear, but their feet never stopped moving. And so they won, not all at once, but inch by inch, moment by moment, until destiny had no choice but to reward them. You must make a decision right now, not just to begin, but to continue. Decide that no matter how long it takes, you will not give in. No matter how many times you fall, you will rise. No matter how many doors close, you will knock again. Not with desperation, but with authority, with the energy of a soul that will not be denied. Persistence is not about force, it is about consistency. It is about showing up, not just when it's convenient, but when it's hard. It is about doing the work, not just when you're inspired, but especially when you're not. It is about doing the work, not just when you're inspired, but especially when, because the reward belongs to the one who finishes. Not the one who almost did, not the one who planned to, not the one who talked about it, but the one who kept going. You must train your mind to expect resistance and then push through it. You must rewire your thoughts until struggle becomes signal not of failure but of proximity. Proximity to breakthrough, proximity to growth, proximity to the moment that will change everything. So when the world says slow down, speed up, when the results say stop, work harder, when your own thoughts whisper doubt, shout belief, and when you fall, rise faster than ever before. Let persistence become your identity. Let it define you. Let it carry you. Because life will test you, but it cannot stop you. Circumstance may delay you, but it cannot deny you. And no force, no obstacle, no rejection is stronger than the man who has made up his mind to persist until he wins. So now look within. Lock eyes with your vision. Feel the weight of your desire and say aloud, I will not quit. I will not turn back. I will not give up. I will persist until I succeed. And when you do, truly do, that moment becomes your turning point. That moment becomes your liberation. That moment becomes the birth of your unstoppable self. And that, my friend, is how you think. That is how you rise. That is how you grow rich. No man climbs to the heights of success alone. No empire was built in isolation. No mountain was conquered by a lone climber without support. The myth of the self-made man is a lie told by those who forget the hands that lifted them, the minds that shaped them, the alliances that opened doors no strength alone could force open. If you are to achieve greatness, real, lasting greatness, you must embrace the power of the mastermind. There is a force greater than any single thought, greater than any individual talent, greater than even the burning desire within your chest. It is the multiplied energy of two or more minds joined together in harmony, focused on a single definite purpose. That force, my friend, is the mastermind. And when you harness it, you step into a dimension of power reserved for those who understand the true currency of success. connection, collaboration, and collective genius. One mind, no matter how brilliant, is limited. One set of eyes sees only part of the road. One heart grows tired. One will can falter. But when two minds unite, truly unite in spirit and aim, there is created a third, intangible force, a new mind, a new source of energy, a new intelligence that neither alone could access. And when that mastermind is nurtured, when it is fed with purpose, protected with faith, and sharpened by shared belief, it becomes unstoppable. Think of the great titans of industry, the giants of invention, the architects of change. None rose in solitude. Each had counsel. Each had alliance. Each had a circle, a mastermind that poured into them ideas, insight, inspiration, that challenged their blind spots, supported their ambitions, and believed when the world doubted. You must build your circle, not a crowd, not noise, but a select few whose minds burn with the same fire, whose standards match your own, whose vision stretches your thinking. Do not seek comfort. Do not surround yourself with those who tell you only what you want to hear. Seek minds that elevate you. Seek spirits that challenge you. Seek voices that awaken the dormant parts of your potential. When you align with others who are committed to growth, something changes in you. Your doubts diminish. Your confidence rises. Your creativity sharpens. You begin to believe in bigger things because you are no longer carrying your vision alone. You are no longer limited to your strength alone. You are no longer powered by your thoughts alone. And that is where the shift begins. But a mastermind is not accidental. It must be created with intention. It must be protected with vigilance. It must be built on mutual respect, shared values, and common purpose. You must give as much as you receive. You must show up fully. You must speak with integrity and listen with humility. For the mastermind thrives only in harmony, where egos are set aside and minds are united in pursuit. Do not underestimate this, for many men fail not for lack of talent, but because they insisted on going alone. They believed independence was strength. They confused pride for power, and in their isolation, they were crushed beneath the weight of problems they could have shared. They were blind to solutions that another mind could have offered. They burned out chasing a dream that a mastermind could have fueled to reality. You may be capable, you may be disciplined, you may be determined, but without counsel, your progress will be slower, your learning will be harder, your risks will be greater, and your victories, when they come, will be smaller than they could have been. So, choose your allies, choose them wisely. Seek those who live with purpose, walk with those who speak the language of growth, align with those who rise when others retreat. Let iron sharpen iron, let truth meet truth. Let your mind become part of something greater, something that multiplies power, refines purpose, and draws you ever forward, even when your own strength begins to fade. And remember, a true mastermind will not let you settle. It will not allow you to shrink. It will call you higher again and again until you have stepped fully into the man you were born to become. That is its gift. That is its power. So begin today. Identify those who light the fire in you. Invite them into purpose. Align your minds. Forge the alliance. And then move together with conviction, with clarity, with combined faith and shared determination. Because success is not a solo act. It is a symphony. And when the right minds come together in harmony, they compose a future that no obstacle can silence, no setback can delay, and no force on earth can stop. That, my friend, is how you think. That is how you grow. That is how you rise, and that is how you grow rich. Now you have it, the truth laid bare, the map unrolled, the torch placed firmly in your hand. What you do from this moment forward will determine not just your future, but the legacy you leave behind. Because success does not come to the man who waits. It does not reward the one who hesitates. It comes only to the one who thinks with purpose, believes with conviction, and acts with unwavering persistence. You have learned the power of desire, how it must be definite, burning, alive. You have seen the necessity of faith, faith in self, faith in the unseen, faith in the outcome before it is born. You understand now the role of specialized knowledge, not just information, but the right knowledge, applied with precision. You have grasped the strength of persistence, and you have unlocked the final key, the mastermind, the alliance of minds working in perfect harmony, building a power far greater than the sum of its parts. These are not ideas to admire. These are not philosophies to file away. These are tools, and you must now wield them with purpose. You must make a decision, a real decision to walk the path that leads to greatness. Not someday, not when the time feels right, now. The man who grows rich in mind, in purpose, in life is not made by chance. He is made by choice. He is shaped in the fire of discipline. He is sculpted by vision and carved by struggle. But he is forged always by action. You have the tools, you have the power, you have the mind, and if you take what you've learned today and act upon it with courage, with faith, and with relentless focus, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can keep you from your destiny. Go forward. Build the life you were born to live. Let no fear stop you. Let no failure slow you. Let no voice of doubt drown out the truth you now know. You were made to succeed. You were made to rise. You were made to think and grow rich. Good luck on your journey, and thank you